everybody, and welcome to the Docs, where we are here to educate, empower, and inform you on health and wellness topics. And I'm super excited today because we have an amazing show with a great group of people to talk about sex. It's always a fun subject to talk about, right? That's a good segue. So, of course, I am Dr. Simone Ellis. You can find me at Smile Design Studios, located at 6130 Highway 6 in Missouri City, Texas, for all your smile needs. And let me also give you guys a little bit of love to my other co-host. One of our hosts, though, is actually going to be acting like she is a panelist today, so that's good. But let me throw it over to my co-host today.
What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Uzo. Glad you guys are here tuning in with us. We got a good show planned for you today. Been out for a couple weeks. Glad to be back with you guys, and excited you guys are tuning in. Working. Same old. Nothing else. Same old. Yeah, real job problems. Good problems, though. So glad you guys are back with us.
Awesome. And then let's go ahead and kick it back over to...
Oh, hey guys. I am Dr. Chandra Batiste. I am so happy to be here, but today I'm not a co-host technically. I'm only going to pretend to be one. I'm going to let these two people take over. I'm a panelist today. However, every day I'm a dentist. You can follow me at hotdoc.com on Instagram. And of course, you can always visit my dental practice, Elite Dental Wellness, which is located at the corner of Westheimer and Fondren.
Yes. Well, guys, we're here to talk about sex and all that stuff that's fun, but I would like to get a chance to introduce all the people that are here for our panel. So what we want you guys to do is, of course, introduce your name. If you want to have people find you, where they can find you on social media. If you're single, if you're married, and sexual orientation. So I'm going to kick it off to some of the gentlemen. You guys always say ladies first, but I'm going to do this guys.
All right. How y'all doing? I'm Trey Wiley. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Trey Wiley. I am single-ish, soon to be taken, and I am straight. Well, I mean, legally I'm single, but I'm getting married very, very soon. So.
Okay, all right.
Well, that clears it up.
Yeah.
Hi, I am Ricky Cumby, husband to Chandra Batiste, Dr. Batiste hyphen Cumby. I fought long and hard for that, and I will remain legally bound. And wait, what else do I say? Sexual orientation. Well, you kind of figure it out, right? So I'm in a relationship, committed. I'm a Sagittarius. I like long walks on the beach. You can find me at on Instagram, Uncle_Poochie. If you go on my page, I'll dive into that and tell you why I'm Uncle of the Poochies.
I guess technically I should introduce myself, too, a little bit more in detail. Uzo, I already kind of introduced myself. My Instagram, if you want to follow me, is UZO_MD. I am single, and I am straight.
You said it with such power, single and straight. And Cumby, I feel kind of sorry for you. You know who your wife is? She gonna cut a hoe. You always gonna be together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just wearing this because
I do fight for my husband. I do.
All right, my name is Kanitha Wiggins. You can find me on Instagram at kwiggins104, and I am single.
Hello, I am.
Straight.
Are you?
I am.
And she's straight. I am Renee Sheree. You can find me at the Modern Day Queen or the Hierarchy Collection or at Miss Ultimate Beauty of America. I am not single. I'm in a relationship, and I like girls. Girls, I do adore. But don't slide in my DM because I don't play that. I'm taking the place of my girlfriend, Dr. Kwanzaa, MD. So again, don't play that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angie Curtis. I'm H-Town Angie on Instagram. I'm single, and I'm straight.
I was trying to do a story, but y'all got me. Okay, it's okay. We're going to just be back on. So, all right. So, of course, today we're going to be talking about sex, and I think that it's really fun because we're going to be playing Battle of the Sexes, right? So, me and Uzo will be asking questions, and then hopefully the men or the women.
They're outnumbered, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them because these women come with, like, you got, okay, we got Elijah. He's open. All right.
Elijah cannot talk about
Yeah, let's not. It's PG-16 and above, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So, guys, the rules of the game are, of course, the first to answer gets the point. And at the point, you can have a little bit more discussion if you want to talk about what we actually, the question is. So, Uzo, do you want to start off with the very first question?
Do it.
All right. Like, first hand up. Let's
All
do it.
right. Yeah, we should have brought like a little taboo buzzer or something, but next time. So, Elijah, you got to be watching out for the hands, I guess, because we need a neutral judge here. All right, first question. We don't got none of those. We'll write that into the show.
There's no phone a friend.
Yeah, there's no lifelines on here. This is not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah. All right. The competitive juices are already flowing. I like it. All right, true or false? Are y'all listening, ladies? This is true or false. All right, true or false? Diet can affect the taste of semen. True or false?
All right. So we have true. So let's ask, how do you know? What are the many flavors? So I've heard that is true.
I've heard like if they eat pineapples, it tastes a little sweeter. I have heard that.
You've never experienced that. I got it.
All right. So Uzo, do you want to?
So that is actually the correct answer. And what's interesting about that is most when you, not that I spent a lot of time researching this other than today, the thing that actually comes up a lot is pineapples. Reason being is that so at baseline semen is alkaline, which actually makes it taste a little bit bitter. Who knew that? So if you do anything, diet, fluids that changes the pH of the semen, it can actually change the way that it tastes. So it can be changed.
So for the positive.
For the positive.
So hands up to the basic semen.
Yeah.
That's what we
No,
want.
You want it to be a little acidic.
We want it to be acidic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's basic at baseline.
Oh. See, that's a question, and we need to talk about that. Do you? No, you're never gonna have no hair. Your edges look great. Okay. Your edges look okay. So, guys, for the next question, how many calories are in semen? We have it. We have mixture.
But how much are you taking for you to care how much caloric intake is in
For one cum shot. Okay. How many calories are in semen? Is it A, 100 to 150, B, 5 to 25, C, 50 to 75, or D, 1 to 5?
Depends on if it's the first one.
Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, let's keep it real.
He has a point.
First.
the first pump is fattier?
Well, I'm just saying the first pump will probably have the most consistency. You know, we're talking about 2-3 days. You know, but if it's like back to back, that second one is going to be drip drip.
So, like, since you have the mic, what is your answer? Is it A for the first pump?
First
First pump alone.
first pump.
100 to 150, 5 to 25, 50 to 75, or 1 to 5?
I think it's the second one, the 520.
1 to 25?
Yeah, 5 to 25.
You guys got it. So it
I
is
mean,
5 to 25. So guess we're not messing up anybody's diet. It's taking cum shots, right?
Science.
And you get protein.
Yep.
3 steaks.
He's just trying to improve everybody's health. That's it.
I feel like I could trust anybody with scrubs on, though. So I feel like
He's not.
he's got facts.
It's hard to
All right.
deny that
Yeah.
right now.
All right, so we have any questions live that's going on right now? Or
No, they just asked us to turn up the volume of the.
How's this? Is this better?
Can you hear better?
Those who have requested higher volume? Yeah, it's not gonna be able to do that, unfortunately. Just turn your volume all the way up on your device that you're listening to.
And if we have something funny to say, we'll make sure we get the mic to you quickly. Okay.
Yeah. All right, on to question number 3. This is also an A, B, C, D, or E type question. All right. contact with semen. Sorry, another semen question. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Contact with semen helps to reduce the risk of what? A, preeclampsia. B, hypertension. C, diabetes. Go ahead and mark that one off because I already got the first answer with that one. And D, postpartum depression. Take your time, no rush.
It was preeclampsia, hypertension, diabetes, and postpartum depression. Contact, meaning like just touch it or it needs to absorb.
So it's like, no, like in your vaginal canal.
Oh, postpartum depression.
Okay, no.
Okay, so gentlemen should get a chance to answer. Postpartum depression is off the table.
What was the preeclampsia?
Preeclampsia, hypertension, or diabetes is what's left.
Oh, well, we definitely know it's not diabetes because there'd be a whole bunch of black folk around here cured, touched. But I would say preeclampsia.
That's correct.
I'm a doctor.
So you're just swinging them out of the park today, Ricky.
I'm kind of a expert. It's kind of what I do.
Who's keeping score so far?
So it's 2-1. That's a good one. So do we have any questions, or is the volume way still too low? Are we getting better? Okay. Well, let's take a look and see how we're doing. But all right. So guys, if you have any questions while we're talking, please make sure you cue in. But yes, preeclampsia, and the reason why that's a lot of times doctors will tell you to keep your active sex life while you're pregnant to make sure that you're lowering different risk for preeclampsia. Didn't know that. So men, get it in while your wife is pregnant. Awesome. All right. So Uzo, you're next.
I think. Did I
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right. So now for the ladies. Does having a weekly orgasm help to regulate menstruation? True or false? Serious. Sorry.
Can you repeat that?
Serious. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. But the question again.
Questions are for the guys, right?
Well, everybody.
Menstruation? A regular?
True, false.
I don't know. I have heard that that's been an excuse plenty of times. But
Troy, you got any?
Trey.
ice trade a game.
Three.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think so because plenty of times they said that it started because of sex. So I don't know. Maybe yes.
Wait, I need to clarify who is they. Let's be who the fuck is they? Who's they, Ricky?
As my wife?
you mean they as in a Chandra? Once again, is that what you're talking about? Me and all my personal. So the answer is true.
What do you guys think, ladies? I'm gonna say false. My experience is I've never had a regular cycle, no matter what my sex life looks like. So
But an orgasm is an orgasm. Oh, so what about you?
I'm trying to think over here. I'm not. I would say false as well, but I don't really. I just don't know how they would be connected. I guess I know that there's a regulation. I mean, there's different hormones and things like that are released, but I'm not sure how that would play into regulation.
So actually, it is true. And the reason why it is true is orgasms send blood to the organs in the pelvic area, duh, and delivering all the healthy nutrients and floaty bits right where they count. Women, that's what it said, floaty bits. Women who orgasm once a week are more reportedly likely to have a regulated every 28-day period than those who keep their legs closed and their hands to themselves. as Ricky said, do your part. Do your part. And so, guys, of course, we love sponsorship, and this portion of the show is episode. God, what is going on with my tongue? Sex got me tongue tied. True Digital. So still can't hear? A little issue. You're online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we are here to walk you through every step of the way. True Digital Media consults with development, online ads, and your business reputation, and organic growth and search engines. Give us a call today to discuss your customized strategy for your business at 832-934-4436, or send us an email at info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Spirit to receive a 30-minute strategy consultation. So, guys, check out True Digital Media. So we're working on the sound to make sure everybody gets squared away, but I think Uzo is going to get us started on the next question while we're waiting.
Yeah, hang tight with us while Elijah's going to make some stuff happen. We'll get the sound up for you guys. Next question is another true or false question for everybody. True or false? Orgasms help to improve memory and brain function. That's a collective true. And I believe the answer is true. I'm trying to find the rationale for it.
They also reduce headaches.
That's true. That is true, actually.
Orgasms release.
Yeah.
How are you the sex expert?
I know this shit.
Should be like Friend Center, like right, teaching all of us.
You want to be the best, you gotta know.
See, that one's true. I can't find the rationale behind it, but that one's true, and that was kind of a collective. We had some consensus on that one.
Confessions of a Child Pervert.
Elijah over here
Yeah.
dropping knowledge about dopamine and hormones, and
Once again, Elijah, we do not.
we don't condone this. Yeah.
We all were at
Gonna
that
get us in
age.
trouble, so you better stop talking here. All right.
Well, and I think that any type of orgasm, I need to get a better memory. So let's get some of those rolling, right? I am single. Okay, so
Come
on
on,
that
girl.
note,
Come on, girls,
First
to help you
track,
with
right?
dementia. I'm doing this for you.
right? All right, guys. So for the married couple in the group, but I mean anybody can answer this. How often do you guys think married couples have sex in a month? Is it A, 10 times a month? B, 20 times a month? C, 5 times a month? Or D, 3 times a month?
How much they actually, or how much they would like to?
How much do they actually?
About 5 times a month.
Well, it all depends on how many kids they have versus how many clothes need to be washed versus.
Expound on this, Professor.
Yeah.
He's got a mic already. He's good. He's good.
The law of averages states that per every 3 children, it's deduced by the.
So did you guys have more sex when you had less kids? Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, expound upon that. I think that's a.
Well, I think that the question doesn't give like the true full picture, right? If you are married with no children, there's so much more time and energy for all that
In space.
and space and less like my husband calls them cock blockers, right? Like Logan just walks in the room in the morning, you know what I mean? So there's less. Right. He's like, no, I'm about to sleep right in between y'all at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So there's less opportunity for random moments and Cialis moments.
Y'all
When
go
you're
watch.
married
Y'all
with-
go watch
with
some cartoons. Me and Daddy nap
children.
time.
Right. Like you can't just put everybody to bed. At 2. At 2. Mm. See, with minus drugging your children. Minus drugging them.
That sort of then begs the question for that married couple here. How do you then make time for each other, make time for that, carve that out in the midst of busy schedules, children, what have you?
You put your children on a schedule so that they're in the bed by 8:30 every night. That helps.
But if your husband goes to sleep at 8:35, you have a.
Then it doesn't work.
Your
But
husband's on that same schedule.
but really, truly, you don't let your children just like. Me and Ricky both have enough time post children going to bed, us being tired enough to go to bed to do whatever it is we want to do. Right?
Yeah.
Whether that's go to sleep or do each other.
Trey, how are you feeling about this as you're about to get married?
What if it's not a priority for both partners? Because I know some married couples that they get married and then they lose all the luster, and then I guess they blame it on marriage, or they say things just get in the way. So is it harder once you get married to keep up that fire and that passion?
Is that for the sex show? Y'all need to have your own show for the
Yes.
marriage.
Yeah. So
So
Hello?
Yeah, ask the question right there again. Professor's going to answer.
Once you get married, is it harder for you to keep that fire? And is it harder for that to be a priority for both partners? Because I know some married couples that get married and then they lose that fire, and they say that it's just not enough time in the day, that work gets in the way, kids get in the way, and other things like that.
Well, that actually segues into a completely different conversation when it becomes to just marriage in general, right? So marriage is the second job. You know, you have if you work at anything long enough and consistent enough, you begin to get good at it. And if you don't devote that consistency to your marriage, then things will lapse, like sex, like enjoying each other's time, like remembering that you were brought together with you and her in mind together, and the kids happen to be the blessings that come from the marriage, right? So once you understand that it's more about you and your wife, and then everything else kind of falls under the line of you and your wife, you have to keep those priorities. And I think a lot of times with life and jobs and work and things that you're trying to do, those you and her together seem to sometimes take a back, because those things are always in your forefront, in your face.
But I mean, I also think that anybody, it doesn't have to just be children, right? So you can use a lack of fire or loss of interest in sex blame it on anything if you don't put the work in. So you can blame it on work, working out, family issues, whatever. So it doesn't have to just be children. It takes work. When you do have children, you have to get a little bit more creative. But you can blame a lack of interest in your spouse on anything. And so it doesn't have to just be children that make you have the excuse that you're not having sex anymore.
And then also women go through a lot of things. You know, you go through having a child, then after the child comes, and the baby sleeping in the bed, and then them feeling not pretty, not pretty, but, ready for sex. So, there's peaks and valleys.
So for the single ladies, like, how often do you guys feel like having sex, or even in a relationship, you're not married, so you don't have the kids thing, or you may have the kids, but you're not married per se. You're single, no responsibilities. How often are you having sex in a month?
I think it just really depends. Like, you don't have to be married to have a situation where you're not having sex with the person that you're with. You blame other things that get in the way, work, or like you said, working out, or I'm tired, or, and a lot of it, I feel like it's just the connection that you've lost at some point, and you have to really work to keep that connection, keep that fire. Because after a while with being with the same person, you're going to get comfortable. Just like being in a marriage, you're going to get comfortable. Just because you say I do does not mean that things change or should change. As a person in a relationship, or if I was in a relationship, I probably would have sex a couple, like 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. So.
Yeah, I think 4 to 5 times a week is pretty healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think keeping that on a regular schedule is pretty important.
Do you schedule it? Can you add, since I don't have a mic,
Do I schedule sex? No, I don't schedule sex, but I will come home on my lunch break. If I know I'm saying this out loud. If I know the schedule doesn't match up to where there's going to be any time, and I think in particular when you have somebody working on opposite shifts, so somebody's working a day shift and then somebody's working a night shift, then you have to kind of schedule it, because otherwise you're coming and going.
Right.
Yeah.
Angie?
I don't really have anything to add. They kind of said everything I would have said. Last time I was in like a serious relationship, we did have to schedule sometimes because of otherwise, you're like ships passing in the night. Someone's coming in, the other person's leaving to go to work. But as far as not being in a relationship, yeah, it just kind of depends on how you vibe with the person, what frequency y'all are going to have sex, so that can kind of wax and wane. But I think that, yeah, like a couple of times a week, I think is good.
I have a question. If I'm allowed. If you're not married and in a relationship, is it assumed that you're gonna have sex nowadays, or like how would a single person take this upon saying that I don't want to have sex until we get married? Like, is
I
that
think
still
that's
a reality
a
today, or is
good
that
question, man. That's a good question.
It is a reality.
You got something?
Save that question. Okay, because I want to get into that. So please remember that one.
All right.
Okay. So the answer, I think somebody said was correct. I don't know if it was the males or the females, but it was 5 times a month.
That was us.
Yay! So women, what are we pointing at? I think tied. Great.
Yeah, we tied.
All right, y'all coming back. Y'all coming back. I like that question because it sparked a lot of good discussion. I think even extending it further and more past just sex, I think just when you get in a comfortable relationship, whether it's marriage or you have been with somebody for a year or 2 or longer, maintaining that spark of just whatever it was that got you guys interested in each other in the first place is crucial, and carving out time to do whatever it is that you guys are interested in is also just as important as carving out time to be intimate with each other. So good question, good discussion. All right, next question is a B, C, or D question. All right, what percentage of women have sex with their husbands to get them to do housework?
100.
Professor's already ready with the answer. He's not. A, 10%. B, 25%. C, 50%. Or D, 85%.
85.
Okay, ladies, will you want to expound on why that is so high?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the biggest things that motivates them. Everybody motivates everybody, but especially men. Because as soon after you can be like, "Hey, babe, so I need you to clean out the attic," and it's done like the next day.
Do you think that that's because when you do have sex, of course, we know that it releases hormones and you're much more relaxed, so your resistance and tolerance is down. You guys are ready. You're not even ready for the attack.
Does that mean that it works both ways? So like you may do that so he clean out the attic, and then he might do that for you so that you cook, so that you clean, so that you.
Okay, so I feel like there are things said during sex that should not be taken seriously.
Such as?
I'm a cook. I'm a clean.
I'm gonna make some tacos.
I'm gonna make some tacos.
Such as?
I just feel like there are things that are said during sex that I don't mean that. It just sounds nice. I don't.
It sounds nice to say that I'm a cook and clean and do everything.
So I don't mean. I don't mean that I'm a cook 7 days a week. I just lied. I lied. Okay.
Is that a conversation that happens during sex? Is that a conversation like,
have-
babe, you gonna cook? Like, you
No,
gonna-
but no, dang it, mama. All right. So,
You gonna throw them slabs of ribs
right,
on?
like.
you ever had somebody
What
ask
about
you?
the brisket?
You ever had somebody ask you, you gonna act right, and you be like, yeah, I'm act right. And then you know in their mind what act right is, and you just like in your head after you be like, I ain't acting right. Like, I'm not gonna act right. But wow. Oh, I heard myself. Okay. So while you're in the heat of the moment, I think there are a lot of things said. Like, yeah, Bae said she was going to go wash my car. And she may really go wash that car. But when I said that I was going to organize the closet and act right, I'm really not going to do that. Like, that was a lie.
That's like to me, that's like a brunch discussion. Organize the closet and watch.
I'm not saying.
I'm like, organize the
I'm just giving
closet.
loose examples. But when I say act right, we're going to include, that's going to be an inclusive term that is going to include all the following things. Like, I'm not going to have a smart mouth no more. I'm not going to be petty anymore.
Right.
I'm going to act right.
And I think that to answer your
That's
question,
why.
though, for women, sex is usually a mental thing. So for us, it's not necessarily the act of sex is going to make us want to do stuff. It's the stuff that happens before, the flowers before, the dinner before, that you're like, okay, I'll give you sex.
Sex isn't mental for men.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that you guys are more prone to do something afterwards, right? But then women, I think, want to be like, to get them to have more sex. It's probably more on the mental thing. That's
something to say.
I have a mic. I can be double mic. Too many things coming out of my mouth.
It is a sex show.
I feel like, and it kind of goes to what you were saying, asked the question earlier. I feel like the build up to have sex is more so aligned with like what women are going to do.
Yeah.
And in particular, for my fellow lesbians, we can tend to move a little fast. And I think that it kind of just happens overnight. Like before you know it, like y'all have moved in together, y'all share toothbrushes, not really. And you know, like y'all are together and y'all only really been together for like 2 months, but y'all together, y'all planned out these kids. So I think it's so mental that you feel like overly comfortable, like, yeah, we can have sex because we've already planned out our life together, even though we've actually done none of the things that we planned, but we planned it out verbally.
Is
Yeah.
that because women are more emotional? Like, is that?
Oh, 2 women together is a very
I can only imagine.
somebody has to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody has to get a grip, get their wig together. Like somebody has to stop, because otherwise, before you know it, you've had 3 wives, 2 children that you ain't really birthed, and you paying child support for little June bug that you don't even know if it's your baby. So yeah, I think that at some point, it has to stop.
Yeah. Well, I think these are all really good questions and good discussion has sparked from. We're going to take a quick break right now to shout out one of our sponsors again. This particular portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. So, what do you think of that? What's your response to that, Trey? Where we left off right there.
To her, well, in what realm?
In terms of
Women doing things not because it's emotional.
I think, well, like kicking back to what they said about sex being mental for women, I think that's why a lot of people experience bad sex, because the origins are incorrect. And like sex is the most intimate thing that 2 people can share on earth. So when you take out the mentality and the spirituality out of it, like your sex is not going to be as mind blowing as it could, because you're wrong from the beginning. So like if you align yourself from the beginning in the right way, then you have the best time of your life.
So for you, it's mental.
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
I would co-sign that too.
Yeah, me too.
Point for the men.
Yeah, I think, and maybe it's not. Does Professor Nick speak right now? Okay.
By all means.
I think that, I mean, I completely agree with Trey that, it depends, but I think by and large, sex is such an intimate thing that you share with somebody. And I think to some degree, not always, but to some degree, we sort of get things backwards, where the physical component of what sex actually brings is more important than the connection that is formed between 2 people. Because I think that sex is an outpouring of the connection you've made with somebody and the commitment that, not always, but the commitment that you have made to somebody to do life with them. And sex is just an outpouring of how you feel about that person.
That's
Let me
so
ask you this
sweet.
question, because y'all are sweet, and I'm like, wow, that's really, I think, a mind-blowing statement. But let's talk about probably the reality of one-night stands and how prevalent that is. Or now, I think there's become a very big role reversal. with women now taking on men. I mean, the way that men treated women, kind of like, it's not a mental thing, it's just a physical. Now you see a very big shift, I think, of women becoming very dominant in that. So are you guys speaking to like the 1% of men, or are we speaking to the majority?
I think it's important to realize that because something.
Wait,
why are Ricky real quiet right now?
You don't got
Not his realm.
But
It's not my
is.
ministry.
But you're married, so it probably is. But like to understand,
Real nice.
to understand that for something to be mental, that doesn't mean that it's not physical as well. It can both of those things can operate in the same realm. So because my sex with you is mental, it doesn't mean that I'm not physically aroused. It just means that there's something behind it. Like everything nowadays you see is it's altered, and like it's like it's a bad thing for people to express how they feel. Like they say, "Oh, you and your feelings." Like they're my feelings. I'm supposed to be in them. Like it's
Yeah, I just got
insane,
the song out my head.
And you talk about one night stands. Like a lot of times, like we're just trying to numb what we feel because we're scared of the reality of what it really is. So when people but
I gotta say
but it's not. But like because when you connect with someone, okay, when you think about it like this, like I don't know what y'all believe, but like I believe in God, like I'm a Christian, and like that's the sex is the most intimate thing that God has given you. So when you connect two people together, like there's a formation that happens there. And actually, if you study sex, like there are things that are released, like that are similar to dopamine and other, I don't want to say toxins, but that make you almost addicted to that person. So like you move around and you're hooking up with different people, and then you're wondering why
That's
you
not
feel
a
empty
reason for you to be
inside.
crazy.
So I mean, like we're just.
no.
I can't say nothing else.
Wow.
Well, but I think Uzo has brought a young man, and my husband can't speak on his old ways. However,
You should let him talk.
no,
I
no,
don't.
no,
I'm scared
he
for
can't
him.
talk pre 2010.
Appalled.
So pre 2010, I'm just saying, like, there's more men out there that are dogging than they are like you. That's like, hey, I'm kind of dropping my spirit in women that I'm having
This girl's
sex with.
dogging too. Why is it got to be a guy that was dog? It could be a girl.
No,
that
I
was
will
dog.
say the
Same
level
time.
of like hoochie that has manifested in the 99 and 2000 is like at an all-time high. Like I know some really great guys that have ran into some really scandalous females, and I think mainly because there has been this whole thing that if a guy approaches you with some common sense and he's complimenting you, then he's thirsty. But if he approaches you and he's ratchet and he's like disrespectful, vulgar, then it's like, oh, I'm used to that, so that's what I'll tolerate. So I think that in alignment to what he's saying, yeah, I think sometimes we give guys too much power to approach other females with like this disrespectful manner instead of coming to them and saying like, hey, I expect you to meet me here, instead of settling and saying I'm willing to drag you where I need to be. I think that a lot of times we just kind of accept people and say, hey, I'll drag you to where I want you to be at eventually, instead of saying, hey, like either meet me here or don't meet me at all.
No, I think how he speaks is where you want a man to be. Like, this is amazing. But I
Right.
think that there's many men,
That are
you
not
too,
there.
husband, that are not there. And I think that that's the part that makes it harder to talk to kind of the general public about women who are getting dogged and women who are dogging men. It goes both ways,
but-
right?
But it's like, I think it's important to understand that everything is a process, and like women seem to not understand that like growing into a man it takes some time, and like a lot of times he's gonna fail, and through that failure, like you're hurt, she's hurt, and you learn from those things. But our society, like we don't teach that. Like when you have kids, what do you teach girls? You teach girls growing up don't have sex. You just give boys packs of condoms. Like we don't teach men to value themselves. We don't teach men that, hey, what I'm giving you is just as important as what you're giving me. So our men are already doomed from the beginning. Like we teach our boys to go get as much as they can, as long as you don't have a baby. And we tell our girls don't give it to anybody. If you do give it to somebody and you get pregnant or you find out, then you're, you know what we call them. So like the origins of where we are, we're just backwards.
And like Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trey, not Troy, because I was gonna say Troy. And to what you're saying, I just don't believe that there'll ever be like a total equal
Of what?
of like in dating, whether it's male, female, 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 male, male, because there'll always be a dominant power and a dominant energy, and that dominant energy or power will always kind of reign. But I kind of, the whole go through the process with me, I get that and I respect that, but there are some things I'm not going to go through with you. And I think that sometimes in relationships, the more dominant person expects you to go through like their whole phases with them and be understanding that I'm a hoe and you was a hoe when I met you. Know, I was a hoe when you met me, and I want you to go through that with me and wait till I grow up to be, faithful. And I just don't feel like that's fair to the other party.
But when you say dominant and sorry, when you say dominant and reign, like it's interesting that you use that term, because if I'm reigning in the right way, then you have no problem following me. To be dominant isn't a bad thing if you're doing it correctly. If I'm dominating in the right way, then I'm taking care of your needs, I'm taking care of your wants and your desires in the right way, where you don't feel like I'm taking control of you. So like the fact that it's dominant and submissive like that, if you're doing it correctly, then that really isn't a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful thing. Like the word says, like a man shall be head of his household, and as long as he's following God, then a woman can follow him. A woman's not called to follow a man until a man is following God in the correct way. Once you line those things up correctly, then it's smooth sailing from there. Like, I don't think that someone should stay with someone who's mistreating them. But I think it's very, very, very important to understand that everything doesn't come ready-made. And the same, like I see a lot of women dogging our dudes, but at the same time, like, your porch isn't clean either. So, like, maybe we can get together and work this out and be honest, like, hey, this is where I come from, this is how I feel. But we don't express those anymore, because when we tell you how we feel, we're a punk, or we're in our feelings, right? If you tell us how you feel, then you're nagging us. So we have a culture of people that aren't communicating and expecting to be in a relationship with no communication. And it doesn't work. It's just going to fail.
Yeah, I think lots of really kind of like deep, like heavy discussion, actually, like, but very, very good. We're going to ask a couple more questions. Hopefully some more discussion will come from that, and we'll kind of keep this thing moving a little bit, but that was really good discussion. So next question.
Actually, this portion of the show is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowered movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop dope gear at kogpassion.com. That's kogpassion.com, and use coupon code DOPE for 10% off exclusive Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast.
So I know we talked about God, and I feel really bad about bringing up this next question, but let's just do it. Do it for the.
He did. So, okay, guys. So, what percentage of people are getting it in before they're married?
Like it was perfect, right?
Perfect segue.
A, C, or D.
Right.
So, A is 55%, B is 85%, C is 65%, and D is 75%.
C.
I would say 85%.
Why?
Just because that's the culture we live in. Now it's a lot different. Sex is not something that's valued in our community anymore. You have all of these Instagram famous people, and with that comes, to me, a lot of responsibility. And they teach the girls that, showing your butt and having sex and all of that is something that is cherished. That's something that's looked upon as doing well. And our girls, they watch that, and I just don't think that anybody holds sex as like a strong value anymore.
So how is that in regards to like now dating and trying to compare, like having men compare you to the Instagram world, so to speak?
It's interesting, right? Because most women don't have those type of bodies. Like, all of us don't have like huge boobs and small waists and big asses. Like, that's not right. Except for Simone. That's not the norm. And so you do get these false perceptions of what reality is supposed to be like and what women are supposed to be like and how we're supposed to portray ourselves. And then you have girls now going to get these fake butts from like these fake doctors and dying because of it. I think all of that ties in together.
And then like kind of what she's saying, like you have girls that are willing to be impressed by the small things. That so when you're not impressed, it is like this big uproar. Like because you took me to Steak 48 does not mean that you get any tonight.
Right.
Like that does not equal.
Right.
That does not equal that. Because it's just like so many things have like altered. Like dating it's just like no. After 2 months, you will not be getting any. Sorry, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder. And it's just like, oh really? I am. Really? Like yes, bruh. Really, girl? You're gonna have to really work a little harder.
So that sort of, I'm kind of bringing it back around to the question Trey asked a while back. So let's say you meet someone who says, listen, I'm trying to wait. I want to date you. I want to court you, whatever, but I'm not trying to have sex. I'm trying to wait. How do you approach that situation?
I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I blocked my mama. I think it's okay. I think I would be okay with a girl telling me that she wanted to wait until marriage. I mean, I would just ask her what she classifies sex as like just a baseline class. I want to know what are your limits? Because I think that's important. Like when I'm agreeing to wait until marriage, like what are our limits, and how far are we going that are we classifying sex? Because otherwise, I'm just gonna step all over the line.
Poochie, Uncle Poochie, you've been quiet.
The whole time.
Professor Poochie, no.
You know, I
Okay, what about?
I totally understand. Like, I mean, if somebody's in a relationship and they're telling their significant other, like, hey, I don't want to have sex until marriage, you also have to respect the fact that if the other person is not willing to wait on that, right, and not take that against that person, you know, like you can't make that person feel like they're a bad person because they're not willing to wait for you on that, right? That's your beliefs and what you believe in. Like if you're a vegan, you can't get mad at me because I like steak. I want a steak.
Don't take them to Steak 48 though.
Oh, but if we go to Steak 48 and everybody eat a steak, we definitely have sex.
See, that's just
Yeah, if it's my husband, guaranteed. I would have to have sex with him.
Hold on, what'd you say?
If it's my husband and he takes me to Steak 48 and I get to pick whatever I want off the menu, I will have to have sex with him.
I'm just not agree. Now, if I'm married, then yeah. But I'm just not.
Like,
If you're married, this
I will
is
have
fine.
to.
But you're not gonna take me to Steak 48 and just think that because you bought some cheap roses from Kroger, that I'm just not about to give it up to you. Like you're gonna have to really work for this, like really, really hard. And I think it becomes almost a nuisance to the other person if the girl before you like smashed on the first night, then they just like, oh, you tripping? I'm just like, no, actually she was tripping. I'm actually cool, but it just. And then if that's like the series of girls that they've dated, it's like date smash, date smash, date smash.
That's kind of our culture.
No, that's not my culture.
I'm not saying.
Oh.
the culture.
I think that it's important to like tell the person the why behind it, because like if the goal is just to wait till marriage, my question would be like, why are we waiting till marriage? Because there's something greater behind that. It's not just the fact that I don't want to have sex until I'm married. It's probably something else driving that. And I think that it's important to tell people like the other side of sex, because like sex is glorified. Like yeah, it feels good. Like you have a great time, but like what about when you do it and then like that guy blocks you and disappears and that heartache that you feel for the next 2 weeks? You know what I'm saying? Like what about like all the stuff that comes with that? Like we don't tell people that. So these kids like jump into
That
their
I agree with.
relationships and they have sex and they're left crying and broken and they don't understand why, because it's just the origin. Like, so like it's like when they tell people they talk about like killing and drugs on songs, like, so now these kids want to be D-boys and trap stars, but nobody tells you that you're going to die or you're going to prison. Like we only telling you you know what I'm saying, the money and the women. So.
And I think that, go ahead.
But also in the same vein, right? If you could possibly have like a one-night stand, well, not a one-night stand, but have sex on the first date, and also 7 years later have 3 kids in the house.
True.
I'm just saying that it does happen.
So what are you exactly saying?
So I'm just saying you can't fault some people if that happens.
I think Okay, so I know several people that have
I'm
had.
just
She's smiling too.
facts are facts.
If she would have kept her face straight, we would have all been
I
cool.
ain't seen her get like that the whole time.
7 years later.
But I hadn't even calculated. So I do agree that it's very possible.
If the guy knows what he wants, I mean, and if it's ordained, and they just so happen to meet up at the right road at the right time. That's just, hey, that's just combustible energy. It's combustible energy, man.
You know what? You right.
Don't knock it till you try it.
You right.
You've been quiet over there and been like in the cut. So like, any opinions or thoughts?
I mean, y'all pretty much covered the scope of everything. I don't really have anything to add, honestly.
All right, we got time for one more question.
We not saying go out and have sex on the first date.
We got time for one more question, and then we'll wrap it up, kind of end things. Last question is A, B, C, or D. What percentage of men are comfortable with women bringing toys into the bedroom? A.
Oh, the last question's answer was.
Oh.
Siri. Sorry.
What was the last question?
What was the last question?
How many people wait to?
I was 85. It was 85. You're right.
Good job.
What's the score right now, Elijah? By the way.
Women killing.
Anyway, so you guys got the question. First, A is 10%, B is 50%, C is 25%, D is 95%. What percentage of men are comfortable with women bringing toys into the bedroom? What were the percentages again? 10, 50, 25, or 95.
Is there a zero?
They left that one off.
Like 5-0?
Yeah.
I say 25.
Let Angie answer.
What you think?
Go for it.
I mean, I think it's one of the ones on the lower end of the spectrum because I feel like that's not something that's like a lot of men have probably been. Again, kind of how you were saying earlier. There's just a lot of things that men are not conditioned to. They're not taught or it's not. They're not conditioned to think it's acceptable or whatever. So, I guess I would say like 25%.
Oh, that's high, girl.
What about ladies?
I don't know. I ain't been with a man in over a decade.
What about toys it is?
Huh?
For lesbian couples, toys or no?
Oh, I got.
Your mama's on there.
Your mama's on there.
On there, girl.
So.
50 Cent. Get the strap.
Yes, I like 50 Cent. Get the strap. Get the strap. And then somebody gonna yell, which one?
DEFCON 80.
Yeah.
Master Blaster. Sorry.
Oh my god. So I actually think it's more than 25%. Just
You
I
do?
don't think that men talk about it as much. I don't think that because it's not accepted that men will go to their homeboys like, hey yo, she bought this toy in the bedroom. But I think that men enjoy it and they enjoy using their toys to please the person that they're with. They just don't talk about it.
So what percentage?
I would say more like 50%.
Ooh.
Was that an option?
It was. Okay.
This is from personal experience, right? I'd say maybe 10%. Just with guys have a lot of ego, have a lot of pride, and the biggest thing about their pride is their own penis. So bringing other things besides their own penis will make them, I think sometimes can make them feel inferior.
Okay.
Right.
Great. Got it.
I think it's on the lower end of the spectrum. Just like even if you look at it from like mathematically, like if we got all these toys, like what am I doing? Like I need like there's only so many places to put them, and there's only so many things to do. Like you know what I mean? That's like if you're at work, why they calling in a substitute? Like I'm here.
Okay, but also what type of toys are we talking about here? Are we talking about?
I mean toys in
I'm
general,
here.
not just like that was what I was gonna say. Like, yeah,
I'm here.
what type of? So what toys are we talking
Let me
about?
work,
And so
let me
that's
worship.
probably to the point. the answer does have a psychological component to it because you're exactly right. Men have an issue with bringing more toys into the bedroom. However, women actually, I think, enjoy toys for different reasons. You know, there's different types of toys. It's not just the dildo or the penis. There's the vibrator. There is the whips and change. And the vibrators, though, aren't always. You can have a clitoris vibrator. You know, like there's
You
a
can have
bunch of
nipple
things.
vibrators.
You can all kinds of things. So there's different toys and elements. So
But I understand. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand. Like, there's toys for all that, but my response is like,
and it's
if you
more
like,
considered
if
toys.
I learn correctly and I know if I know what I'm doing, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If I know what I'm doing, then like I can handle all those areas.
So you got that I'm every man
No,
complex.
it's not that though, because it's not like I'm every man. It's just like give me the opportunity to touch every base. Like I'll handle it.
Clitoris stimulus while you're getting having sex.
Vaginal
I
stimulus.
mean, but
Let's read a book
but
and
at
see if
the-
we
at
can
the-
be flexible and first before we.
so I think the main thing is when you're, especially with women, because women I feel are more emotional than men are. So if a woman is emotional and she's in tune with her needs and what she wants, and if that's what she's asking for, and you know you want to get your woman to that level, then you know you would confide in it. But if your woman's like, no, I mean I'm more into the intimacy of me and you and what we're doing, and all the other stuff is just extra. I mean, it's okay time to time, especially if you're married for 30 years. You gotta spice it up, like.
Get the butt plug.
But I think as far as just
Like you can't butt plugs. Like yeah, you're right. There's so many different things. I'm not saying.
nah, fam.
I know
She
my
tried
husband will not.
She tried it.
Like
How about nope?
I went to a bachelorette party and had one of those like sex party things and brought like all this fun stuff. And I was like, babe, he literally was like,
Throw
I don't
them
know,
all away.
throw it all away. I don't ever need to see it. And I was like, but we could do this and this. And he was like, I don't, And it's been unused.
But I'm more
for 6
conservative
years.
when it comes to sex.
I disagree. Probably are. I feel like hanging from chandeliers and.
No, we don't have a swing in our bedroom. we don't have a swing. No.
Stay pregnant. Okay, so like that's what I feel.
No, man, we got bad hips and knees. We're just trying to get to the end point.
What do you think?
I completely agree. I know the answer, so we'll go. The answer is 50% actually. So
Point. We won.
I definitely would have said a lot lower
Yeah.
for the same reasons. I think most men are gonna say that
white
they come fully equipped and we don't need to bring nothing else.
So I'm assuming all you guys don't let any toys in the bedroom. Is that correct?
Nah.
Toys for them or toys for us?
What's so crazy is that
Are we shooting hoops after? What we doing?
What's a toy for you?
Guy toys too.
This guy.
No, meaning like, does it matter if it's a toy for like me or a toy for you?
Well,
Does it
I
matter?
think what.
So you're saying
Isn't it
like
like
Ricky
that
said-
gag reflex stuff?
Yeah, that spray.
Is that like?
No,
Right.
we're not spraying nothing. We're not doing nothing. Nah.
She sprays so she can go deeper.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well. No, but I think what.
What about that lady that
I
was
agree with
grapefruit?
what
Is
Ricky
that a
was
toy?
saying, where it's about you communicate, right? Like if you know the person that you're with wants something extra, then you guys sort of communicate and figure out a happy medium between that. But I'm shocked by the 50% number, to be perfectly honest with you.
Me too. I think it's people of the other race.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too.
Oh well, I mean that. Dang, we could have get.
time, I guess.
Dang, because that's what I'm saying. Is there a cultural difference between
There
that?
is.
But
Absolutely.
you guys, we've
Oh,
had a
yeah.
lot of your time. This has
Absolutely.
been amazing. I really want to thank everybody for coming out here today, and all of our listeners. Thank you for tuning in as well. We might have to do a part 2.
I'm here for the
To
gang
be
bang.
continued.
I ain't coming.
To be continued. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay locked next week. Have more good content for you coming in the next week and weeks to come. Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye, guys.